Hey there, Johnny Daniel, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. How are you? It is 7:02. I'm sorry I'm late. Technology. I love it. I really do. So for tonight, I have two cards for you. Why two? Because I couldn't decide which one to do, and I was tossing and turning about it, and I'm like, flip the coin. Which one do I do? Let's do both. So, for tonight, I have both for you. Both. So, it's just that simple. So, without anything else, I'm going to flip you around because there's a lot to do tonight. Yay. And I'm going to show you my mess. This is what happens when I don't have glasses. I'm getting ready for fairs. All right. Before I make you sick, I'm getting ready for fairs. So, does this look like anybody else's desk? I hope I'm not the only one. So, all right, without anything else, I'm going to hope and pray the dog doesn't need out because we already did that on the team live. And I want to talk to you about something. So first, let me get set up. But while I'm getting everything set up, so it's not celebration right now, right? So the only thing I can figure is that we are doing some kind of Christmas season bonus kind of thing. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out if my live's working correctly because my computer's not. I don't know if it's my computer or if it's me, stuff. So give me half a second. I'm just going to flip around. It's a little grainy tonight. I'm not sure if it's my computer or if it's my stuff. Gee, go figure. So we're just gonna run with it. So anyways, but I have to tell you about the best deal right now. So I'm assuming this is because it's near Christmas time. I don't know the why. All I'm gonna tell you right now is instead of $99 sign up, it's $75. So if you're a budget person, there is no reason to not sign up. Here's the why. Okay, because we're in November, right? So $75 instead of $99, right? So you're already saving $24, and then you're saving the shipping and you're saving the tax on all that too. So it's more like a little over $30, okay? Then on top of it, you're gonna get your 20% off all the time. So you're gonna pay just under catalog price for everything, right? So what's the requirement? $300 a quarter. But when does your quarter start? Well, since we're already into this quarter, your first quarter wouldn't start till January. Now, every sale or order that you do, except for the kit, counts through that quarter. So your first full quarter wouldn't be until the end of March. Okay, so you would go through all of celebration. So anyways, so you have this month to think about it. The promotion starts tomorrow and goes until the 30th, which is the last Tuesday of the month, the last day of the month also. But for those of you that budget, I would not be doing my job if I didn't tell you how to save nearly $100. It's just that simple. So there you go. There's my foof. Okay. So with the team stuff though, we also have a team gathering, which is a virtual every single month. And I do a buy-in, and for $15 mailed to you, all the materials came for these great cards, right? So the theme this time was gift cards. So here's a gift card pocket, card, whatever you want to call it. let's go with the right stack. There's this one that has a gift card. There's this one that is a gift card pocket. And then this one, isn't this cute? So when I do the team stuff, isn't that darling? And then you put your gift card in there. When I do the team stuff, it usually does not go, I would say 90% of the time, it's exclusive to team. Once in a blue moon, I will reuse a project. Not very often though. So, cool, right? So that's another part of team that I do for you. Also, when you're doing rummage sale, you get cash back. You get a check instead of a certificate. So there's quite a few perks to being part of team. I often send gifts, and you're automatically, obviously, into the VIP of the VIPs for me. So my team is probably my most important part of Stampin' Up. So with that being said, let's get to creating, because tonight I'm going to show you how to soften paper with vellum, and I'm going to also show you how to double emboss. That doesn't mean the wet and the dry. That means the folders, the dry, double twice. Okay? You'll understand in a minute. So we're going to be creating at least a card similar to this. Okay? This is how to soften. And then I've done a couple, but this was the first one I did. This is the timber. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can. So this is the timber that I did first. So you want to pick a really detailed, fine, lots of little pattern, okay, for your first one. And then your second one, you want more of a bigger pattern. So the magnolia would be good. The trees would be good. I'm trying to remember the name of it. The one with all the trunks. Woodland, I believe. Anyways, you get my point, right? So this is another one. And then this one is the one we will be creating tonight, except I think I'm going to do the dots instead of the checkers, and then still the trees. Okay? Okay, so that is what we have for tonight. So let me get my stacks straight, and we will get to doing. So I've already pre-stamped everything because I didn't want ink out, as well as the embossing, as well as. So here we are, okay? So for this card, for this one, we are going to need a card base, thick, basic white, cut at 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. Okay, so that's one. Then we've got the early espresso. This is cut at 5 1/4 by 4. And then the Beauty of the Earth designer series paper. This is cut at 5 by 3 3/4. Okay, then I have a scrap of Real Red. I have some Real Red double stitch satin ribbon. I've got a piece of vellum, and I've got a little piece of adhesive sheet, as well as my brushed dots. Okay, are we ready? So for this one, okay, I am going to grab all my pieces and parts that I need. So we are not doing anything to this piece, but I am cutting out the tree out of this to save my paper, and I'm cutting out my birds. Got my adhesive sheet, and then I'm running through so I've got 2 different trips through the machine that I need to do. All right, so here's my piece. That's gonna go straight in the middle. Okay. Adhesive on my fingers, of course, so rub, rub, rub. Okay. So I'm gonna do my tree and my birds at the same time, and then do my vellum at a different time. Okay, so this one I didn't do the adhesive, and you can see that it lifts up quite nicely. And I just wanted to see what it would look like differently. So there you go. Okay, so I'm gonna set up here and I'm gonna grab all my pieces and parts. So in the Beautiful Trees dies, I'm grabbing my tree and I'm grabbing my birds. The birds come in a pair, already ready to go. Cool. And then the rectangle stitched, I'm grabbing a piece. It really doesn't matter what size per se. I picked one that was about the same size as the tree, but it's up to you on what you do. Okay, so I'm grabbing my machine and moving all my pieces that I just put out. Yes, I know. But here's the machine, moving everything again. All right, move that so that goes flat. Okay, so platform. I'm like, where did I put everything? I know it's all right here. So for this, with the dies, we're gonna need 1, 2, and 3. How do I know this? Because if you look at the platform, I'm using thin dies. So I need 1, 2, and 3. This is 1. Each plate or platform has a number on it. All right. And then if I'm using standard embossing folders, I need 1 and 3, both pieces of 3, meaning the clear cutting plates. And then if I have 3D embossing folders, I need 1 and 4, and 4 is the specialty or the gray plate. Okay. So I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 3. I didn't know if you could see that or not. And also 3. So we're gonna stack these. You want them stacked as evenly as possible. Why is that? Because the more even you can get it, the better your cut will be. Okay. So I want my tree to go in lengthwise, because then I will have less resistance going this way. So I'm going to do that right in the middle so I can still reuse my paper for my mat. Okay. Stand up to get this going. It's harder because I'm trying to be careful and not hit things, but you know, so it goes, right? So there's my 2 birds. Okay, where's my dies? Okay, I don't want to lose these guys, they're little, right? So we're gonna put them back before I lose them. And then we're gonna peel out our tree. Look how easy that comes out. Okay, that's done. Okay, now I'm gonna recycle and I'm gonna do my vellum real quick. The reason I'm going as diagonal as I can is I don't want that bar going straight through. It's going to make it really hard to crank. So if you go more diagonal, it's a little easier. And I see my video is being a little wavy, but hey. So if you're on with me, please say hello so I can give you the instructions for these cards. And if you're catching me on the replay, great. Comment by next Tuesday, Tuesday the 9th, the day before the Marine Corps birthday. Comment and I will email you the instructions so you have them. And you can do this yourself. Okay. Let me move this down and out of the way. And we'll get to finishing this. Okay, so I've got my card base here. Let's pull out my tree first. Come on, Mr. Tree. All right. You'll see how the adhesive is on most of it, so that's great. These get tangled, so you gotta be a little patient with it. All right, come on. I'm like, patience is running thin, come on. Where is it getting hung up? There we go. Okay, so here's my mat. Okay, so there we go. Actually, if I peel this off, guess what happens? Then I have my, nah, I don't want to deal with all those pieces. All right. So first and foremost, I'm going to take this adhesive off. You can see how many pieces come out. So I don't have to, I don't think I have any that I have to knock out of there. Sweet. All right, so we're going to put that to the side before it gets messed up. I'm grabbing my Stampin' Seal Plus. Please, if you have problems with this, if you have one that winds around on you or breaks or anything like that, please let me know. I'm happy to replace it for you. Now, if it's a problem and becomes a habit, then we'll look at getting you a different adhesive. But for the moment, oh, that's crooked, but oh well. Okay. So I'm grabbing this. I'm grabbing my Beauty of the Earth. Now, I don't know about you, but when I first saw this, I was like, man, those colors are bright or very deep. How do I soften this, right? How do I soften this? All right, so how do I soften it? I grabbed some vellum that I ran through the machine, and I stick this on here. Now, how do I glue this down? Well, I flip this over and I grab my glue dots and I put glue dots on the back where my tree is, so that way I do not end up with all this glue all over the place, right? Because we don't want to see it, right? So there's a couple. Let's see if we could get a couple more. Now, if I miss a tiny bit, not a big deal, but I don't want the bulk of it to sit out there. We'll just say that, okay? So this is how I'm gluing this down. Look how that just softens that. It's amazing, right? Okay. I should have kept this out. I gotta do my birds. So we're gonna do our birds real quick. Make sure that you have this the right way up. On the back side, it looks a little rougher, not as polished, I guess you would say. And the front side, the edges tend to roll down instead of being kind of lifted up. So I'm gonna flip these backwards because I want my glue dots on the back, right? So here's one. Here's my second one. Okay. So my birds are gonna land in my tree. Make sure you put them on the branches so they don't fly away, right? Okay. And then I don't know about you, but this pleating thing always is interesting. So we're going to start with one side of the ribbon. And I'm gonna grab my edge here and I'm gonna stick this down. I want it to go a little bit further up, but do what you want to do, right? Okay, now I've got to grab my snips. And you got to figure out how far back you want your ribbon to go. And then when you figure out how far back you want it to go, in the, hold on. Okay, so where you want it to go, right? So as it's folding backwards, you want your glue dot to be at the edge of how it folds for the next one. I hope that makes sense. If not, you're confused now, right? So I'm gonna put a glue dot down here. This is full of glue dots, tons and tons of glue dots, okay? So now we're going to take this here, figure out where you want your folds, stick your ribbon down, grab another glue dot. Are you surprised? Grab another glue dot, fold, figure out where you want that to finish. I want it right about at the trunk of the tree. So there's that. Grab another glue dot. What a surprise. Okay. And for me, I think that's all the pleating I'm going to do. You can do much more. It's up to you on how much you do. If you don't want those sticking up, guess what we're going to do? Grab a couple glue dots. You're perfectly right. And we're gonna put here, and then this is going to be trimmed like the other side. And we've got our pleats. Cool, right? You can make it as intricate as you want, as not detailed as you want, you know, it's just up to you, okay? So there's that. Now we're gonna grab our dots and put them down in the corners. If you wanted to put them down on the espresso instead, you could do that. It's really up to you because you're creating, right? So there is the card. This is the first one. This had copper instead of the brass, the brushed brass. So there you go. Okay. All right. So for the next one, we've got a card base just the same as the other one, right? Yes. 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. We're not cutting out of the mat. If you want to take some punches out of it, you go right ahead, but there's no need for it this time. Okay, so I'm gonna grab here, hopefully line this up. We will see how we do. Okay, and this time instead of the leaves, we're gonna grab watercolor foliage. I don't know exactly what that's called, but another bright one, right? And we're gonna glue this down whichever way you think is up. Okay, this, I've already put my dimensionals on. This is just a pendant from one of the paper pumpkins or whatnot, and I've got some brushed dots and of course my vellum, right? So I'm gonna move everything out of the way, bring back my machine. Now this time, because we're doing, this is a 3D, this is a regular. You can tell just by the difference in the thickness. Can you see that? So we're gonna start with our regular one. This is the dots instead of the checkers. So with that, we're gonna use our number 1 and our number 3s, our clear cutting plates. Okay, You're going to use both of them, don't forget that. So we're going to go here. We're going to grab our polka dots where the Stampin' Up! Logo is instead of the trademark, copyright, whatever. This is the up for it. So if you want stuff to stand up and not be concave, you want to put it towards the logo. Okay. All right, so it's just not quite wide enough, but close enough for me. You want to put this hinge side first. Why is that? That'll make your stuff last longer because you will not have something going in and possibly tweaking like this. You'll have it going hinge first, which means it will not have as much flex. So you want to make sure that you always have a plate on the top and you go hinge first. Okay? So that's our polka dots. Nice border there. It's good. All right, so now, because this is a 3D, this is the double embossing. So we did our detailed part, right? Now I'm grabbing my platform, and I'm grabbing my Evergreen Forest 3D. Okay. Now you got to be careful with this. Why? Because vellum is fairly fragile, and I'm doing double embossing, so it's going to break down twice. Okay. Yes, this has been used and abused. Can you tell? It's like all warped and ready to go, right? Use it till it falls apart, right? So when you do this, you want to make sure that you pull it out of there very, very carefully because the fibers are going to be broken down. Okay? So let's put this to the wayside. Okay? And when I pull this out, like I said, I'm going to do the corner and I'm going to be very fragile with it, very careful with it. And as you can probably see, I've got a couple points that it went through. Okay? Especially on the back, you can see little holes. So you really got to be careful with it. Okay? So we're going to be using glue dots for this. And the glue dots are just going to go where the pattern is the busiest. So where the trees are, basically, not where just the polka dots are. Maybe. Okay. So I'm just doing a few. Okay. And then we'll put it down and see where it curls and where it needs, you know, a little bit of love. We'll just say. This is the exact same size as the other mat. So you should be able to just go, in theory, corner to corner. I'm going to push from the back to hopefully not get as much of the embossing pushed out. But up to you on what you do. Okay? Don't like how that one corner's sitting. And down here also. So we're just gonna finesse it a little bit. Hey Lise, I'm glad you made it, hun. I think you're the only one. I think it's just a busy night and it is okay. But it is one to watch. I've got 2 cards tonight. I'm just finishing the second one, and we're talking about how to double emboss and how vellum softens things, which I know you already know that, but the double embossing is interesting. So double embossing means small detail and then a larger, like the magnolia, like the evergreen forest, that kind of thing. Okay, so let's see here. All right, so I've got that. Like I said, I've already pre-stamped a little pendant because I figured I'd be going long by now. And you just figure out if you want it middle, side, whatever. And then I've got a few of the brushed. So I'm actually going to finish the other corner here. Should have put it probably in with the polka dots, but that didn't quite happen. So there you go. So that is the double embossed card. That's with the polka dots. That's with the polka dots. That one is with the checkers. This one is with the timber and the evergreen. All of them are evergreen, just the detail background changes. Hey Iris, how are you, hun? It's okay, we had back-to-backs. So, but you definitely will want to rewatch because I'm showing you how the vellum softens and how to double emboss, which means detail pattern and then a bigger pattern. Okay, so you'll want to definitely watch and come back to it. So I will say thank you for joining me, even if you were late. Catch me on the replay. Comment by Tuesday the 9th. Can't believe that November is going so fast already. And I will get the directions emailed to you. So thank you again for joining me. Have a great evening. Follow me, stampingwithjohnny.com. Thank you. Bye-bye.